Hey, thanks for joining me again. To start this one, I really want to make sure that you guys are warm, okay? So if you have maybe jumped on the elliptical, you've gone for a walk with the dogs, you've done something, got on a stationary bike for a second, I want to make sure you're loose and limber because we're starting with some bike intervals, okay? When I said bike intervals, I want you on the Airdyne bike. That's non-negotiable because I want upper and lower body working, okay? So the first exercise of the first set, you're gonna jump on that bike, you're gonna go for a minute, and I want it's not like a Sunday cruise bike, okay? I want you pumping your arms, I want you pumping your legs, I want you kind of gassed afterwards. So we're gonna do 4 total rounds of that. So if you notice on the spreadsheet, that one is in bold, okay? So that means that you're gonna do 4 rounds of that. The other exercises are gonna be kind of sandwiched in between, okay? So you're gonna start with a bike interval, you're gonna end with a bike interval, and then you don't have to do the other 2 exercises a 4th time, okay? They're gonna be smashed in there. So get on the bike right now. I want you to go for a minute. I will even time a minute if that's helpful for you, but hit that up and then we'll be ready for the second start, okay? Get on the bike.
Opposite to your pulling through. So it would be under shoulder. 1 minute.
Okay, if you pause it, that's cool. Next one, we are going to make another progression. So we had progressed from the normal RDLs to the split stance RDLs. We're gonna make another progression from our first set with the squat to presses. So instead of doing a double arm squat to press, we're gonna do a single arm squat to press in this round, which is going to, again, give you a little bit more core work because we're kind of resisting the lean from side to side. Plus you have to do it twice for each arm, so it gives you a little bit more volume, okay? So the same rules apply though, as far as elbow height, chest height, knees driving out into our squat. Okay, so if I'm facing here, I want that elbow to stay up either at or above shoulder height at all times, okay? If you're looking in a mirror, I like to think about making eye contact with your elbow in the mirror at all times, okay? It's gonna stay high. So we're doing 8 on each side, we're going down into a nice deep squat, and then we're gonna use the momentum over a squat to press up overhead. The elbow comes right back to where it was, okay? 2, 3, got 8 on each, 4, 5, 6, good, 7, and then 8, good. Relax for a sec. Every time, things to just kind of keep in mind, we always want to come back down to home base here in front of our shoulder before we go into the next squat, okay? You get yourself into a little bit of a sticky situation if you got your arm up overhead and you're trying to squat at the same time. Okay, so next side, elbow stays high, chest stays up, my hips go down, and then I shoot on up. Okay, chest stays high, shoot. Halfway, that's 4. 5, good, staying tall. 6, 7, and 8, good. So big things again to think about, chest stays up, chest and elbow. Elbow's gonna be the determining factor of where the chest goes. As soon as the elbow dumps, the chest is gonna dump with it. Keep that guy up, okay? Next one in this round is gonna be called a renegade row. So we are going to get ourselves down into a plank. You're gonna have 2 dumbbells. Again, weight recommendations are on your spreadsheet, okay? Check those out. 2 dumbbells, they're going to be the base of our plank. So, another little just anecdote on this one is we want to keep our wrists nice and stiff, okay? So no floppy wrists like this. Think about if you're gonna punch somebody, you want a straight flat wrist, okay? No broken wrists. We're going to stack up onto the dumbbells in a plank. We've talked about this before, keeping hips nice and level, being square with the ground. From here, 1 dumbbell is gonna row back to my side, and then get set back down to the ground. Okay, elbow sweeps back down towards that hip, and then I resist forward, okay? I wanna make sure that my dumbbell returns right underneath my shoulder at the bottom of my plank. Okay, we got 16 total. staying level through the hips, staying flat. We'll do one more on each side. I lost count. And relax on down. Good. So this is gonna be kind of your big heavy hitter of a round. Make sure that you go back to the bike. Okay, get your minute in there, really push it, get your rest for a second, and then jump back into these exercises. Again, you've got 4 on the bike, only 3 of each of these, okay? So pause for a second if you need to go back through, and then turn it back on for the second round. For this one, we are gonna grab a physio ball. Okay, so big ball here. I think you guys have 2 at home, so you should be able to do them together if you are still both participating. First one is gonna be a lever plank. Okay, for our lever plank, all of our plank basics remain valid, okay? We're gonna have forearms and hands up on the ball. So if I'm here like so, I like to interlock my fingers. It's up to you. You can also spread your palms to get a little bit more coverage. But big things that we want to think about are a brief little extension, okay? It kind of, I don't want to say it becomes dangerous or hazardous, but it is a cautionary position as we extend, okay? So the motion in our plank itself is coming through the shoulders. It's not through my toes pressing back and forth. So you're going to see what I mean in just a second. So when I'm up in my plank, like so, okay, I'm up on my forearms here. I'm on my toes in the plank. I'm gonna get a little extension out through my shoulders, and then I'm gonna tuck my elbows back in. Okay, I extend out, and I tuck back in. Extend, and tuck. You only have to go a little ways, okay? It doesn't need to be excessive. You don't need to fall on your face. We just wanna get a little bit of a stretch through those shoulders. As I get out there, it's gonna be a little bit tougher on my core because I've extended the lever arm. Got 2 more, we're looking for 10. Cool. And come on down and relax. That one's pretty tricky, okay? Don't underestimate it. Again, just be conservative, feel out that position. We do want to get as much stretch as we can through your shoulders, okay? Give them some work, but also just kind of grade it accordingly. You can always get a little bit more aggressive through the second couple rounds. So next, we are gonna do what's called a physio ball side plank. Okay, for this one, we're gonna be on the plank through our elbow. Our lower leg or our bottom leg is gonna be underneath of the ball. The top leg is gonna be smashing the ball on down, okay? So we want ball mid-sole, like this. It's goofy, I know. But then I'm going to bridge up onto my elbow in a plank. Okay, I'm gonna lock myself right in place. This hand can be wherever you want it. It can be here on your hip. It can't be on the ground though, that's not an option. So I'm nice and tight through my torso. Okay, I'm squeezing down with this top leg. I should be getting a lot of inner thigh, a lot of oblique on this bottom ab. Okay, and even some shoulder work, just stability up through here. So you're gonna be locked in place. I think we've got 30 seconds on each side, okay? So if you have a timer, you wanna count, lock yourself on in. We'll say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come all the way down. And then the good thing about unilateral exercises, or not so good thing in some cases, is you have to do them again on the other side. So same thing, I'm gonna rotate myself over and do another set, okay? One thing to keep in mind on these guys too is that I want to slightly angle my hips downward, okay? So what I mean by this is that if my right foot is up on the ball, I want to slightly angle my right hip down towards the ground just to keep emphasis through the front of my core and not have my lower back take over. Okay, so again, I'm going to pop up here. I've got bottom foot down flat. I've got top foot squeezing tight to get some inner leg work here. Okay, I'm going to pop up into my plank. So watch this right hip. It slightly tucks downward just to keep the emphasis through here and not through my lower back. Okay, if I'm back here, I've got a lot of low back going on. If I'm here, I have a lot of core, a lot of abs, okay? So we're probably about halfway done at this point. Lock down in, keep breathing. Nice and stable through that shoulder. Squeeze down through that inner leg. Say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and come all the way down. All right. Cool, 2 down, 1 to go. Last one is going to be hamstring curls with the ball. Again, this is a great way to get a good hamstring curl in if you don't have a hamstring curl machine, but it's also just valid because you're using a lot more core and actual body strength and stability rather than using a machine. Okay, so we're gonna be down on our back, flat. Heels are going to go up on the ball. Okay, you may have to play around with positioning of the heels a little bit if you're unfamiliar, just to see that they're far enough onto the ball but not too far off of the ball. Okay, palms will be flat down just for stability purposes. From here, our first motion is going to be to bridge up the hips. Okay, I'm driving my heels down into the ball, I'm driving my palms down to the ground, and I'm driving my hips up into the air. From here, I'm going to squeeze heels in towards my butt and resist back out. Okay, I've got 2, I'm looking for 12 total. Notice that as I curl, my hips get even higher, okay, and then I resist on out nice and stable. So that's 4, again, we're looking for 12, 5, 6. Trying to pull those heels on in as close as you can to your butt. Palms stay flat the whole time. And hips stay up as high as you can. Let's say 2 more. And relax on down. Cool. All right, so that was round 2. Per usual, you guys have to go back through it twice more. Okay, take rest as needed, rewind the video, check it back out as needed. But that was your second one. Hopefully you feel good. That was a good little progression, I think, from the first ones. You got some good cardio bout in there, and then we challenged and progressed some of the exercises that you had learned in the first one. So I hope you enjoyed. I love you guys. Bye.